Hello again, I'm Eli the Computer Guy, and this is episode 307, Windows 8 Surface RT buying advice. Don't do it. So in all of my classes, all in my videos, I try to explain to you why you should or should not buy products or services, not just based on whether the product or service seems cool, but how usable it will be in the real world and how usable it will be for your clients. If something seems really cool, but then your client gets it into their hands and it doesn't do what they want it to do, then that's just not going to be good for anybody. Your reputation is going to take the hit for the crappy piece of equipment that a vendor such as Microsoft has put out. Now, when I talk about the Windows 8 Surface RT tablet computer today, I want you guys to realize and to remember I like and dislike Windows 8 in different form factors. So as I talked about before, I installed Windows 8 Preview Edition on a desktop, or actually a laptop computer, and I absolutely and utterly hated it. I think Windows 8 is really crappy on a desktop computer. On the other hand, when I went to Distill Intelligence 2.0 a couple of weeks ago and got to try out a Samsung tablet, one of their Windows 8 tablets, I absolutely adored it. So please remember, when I'm talking about Windows 8, depending on the form factor and depending on what version I'm talking about, my opinion changes. I love the Samsung Windows 8 based off of the x86 processors. Again, for desktop computers, I don't think it's a good option. I don't think it's a good idea to upgrade past Windows 7. And as I'm going to talk about with these RT versions, I just think these are just going to be horrible and most likely will end up being a dead end in the middle of nowhere. One thing though, too, I give you all this advice because I want you guys to think about the decisions you guys make. I don't want you guys just to run out and make decisions based on the fly that you're not going to be happy with. One of the things that I will tell you, and I will make sure, I hope you guys understand, is that the Windows 8 fanboys out there are absolutely horrific. I have been shocked in all the years that I have been a technician, in all the years I've been a consultant, and all the years I have supported the end user. I thought it was a de facto, I thought it was given that you could always laugh at Microsoft, you could always laugh at Windows, and everybody would laugh with you. Like, everybody derided Windows and Microsoft, even when it didn't deserve it. For years and years, I actually liked Windows and Microsoft, and I was only one of their very few supporters, and everybody else was laughing at them. But now I'm finding, with Windows 8 coming out, I have some really real issues with it in a number of different places. And whenever I talk about it, oh my golly, the Windows 8 fanboys are absolutely horrific. Why I'm telling you this is so that you have it in your mind when you go to Best Buy or you go to Newegg or when you go to wherever it is you're going to buy your Windows 8 computer at whatever point in the future, is just realize Windows 8 is a huge hard sell. People are pushing people to buy Windows 8 very heavily, very harshly. They're just nasty if you don't agree with them. If you don't think Windows 8 is the greatest thing that Microsoft has ever come out with, you are a complete idiot. And I will tell you, I've been dealing with geeks a long time. I've been dealing with vendors a long time. But I have never seen just the visceral push for an operating system like I am with Windows 8. Even with Vista. You might see Ballmer go out there when Vista came out, and he said it was all great and dandy, and everybody laughed at him. But the community push for Windows 8, it's just something really bizarre. So when I'm talking about Windows 8 Surface, I'm talking about Windows versions of the tablet computers. So the big thing with Windows 8, again, is Windows 8 is supposed to be an operating system that spans different form factors of computers. So you have the Windows 8 desktop. You have the Windows 8, the same Windows 8 is on a laptop computer. The idea is that the same Windows 8 would be on your tablet computer, and then a very similar version of Windows 8 would be on your phone. So the idea is you could design an app for one and it will work across the spectrum. So that is what Microsoft says Windows 8 is all about. Windows 8 is about creating an operating system so that somebody can write an app on one thing and it will work across the spectrum, or it may need a few minor tweaks, like some minor user interface tweaks, but by and large it will move across the spectrum. So, obviously you have your desktop computers and you have your laptop computers, and they all run, Intel or AMD CPUs in them, so we all know that. And then, as you should know, with the tablet computers, Intel has been moving into the tablet and the smartphone realm for CPUs with their Atom-based processors. So you guys probably know about Celeron processors and Pentium processors and Xeon processors. Well, the family line for tablet computers and the family line for smartphone computers with Intel is called the Atom processor. So the idea is that the Atom processor is still in what's called the x86 line of processors for computers. This is very important. So let's go over the whiteboard so I can explain just a couple of things. We have some graphics here. So basically, whenever you're dealing with processors, the processor that we're normally dealing with is something called the x86. So it used to be a 286, and then it was a 386, and it was a 486, and it was a 586, and then we went off into Pentium 3s and 4s and 5s and so on and so forth. The main thing to understand is that the processor type, this is how the processor is built. This is the underlying specification for the processor. Now, the important thing to understand then with the processor is that you specifically have to write the operating system and software in order to work on the processor. The processor is the linchpin. So you find the processor, you decide what processor you want the software and operating system to run on, then you specifically write the operating system to run on this processor, and then you write the software that will run on the operating system and run on the processor. So this most recently came up when we changed from 32 to 64-bit processors. So you may have seen where you received software, and if you had a 32-bit processor and you had 64-bit software, it would not run on the 32-bit processor. The reason being is the software was created for the 60-bit processor, and you have a 32-bit processor. So basically, the important thing to realize is that the software and the operating system is written for the processor that it's on. Well, the issue is for eons and eons and eons, basically Microsoft has only been dealing with Intel processors. So these x86 processors. So the operating system was built for the x86 processor, the software was built for the x86 processor, so on and so forth. So you knew if you bought a Windows computer, you could buy, or if you bought a PC, you could then put Windows on it, and then you could put whatever software you wanted on it, and it would all work, right? Because this is how it has been forever. Intel processors run Windows operating systems run Windows software, and it all works. Well, the issue is that there are other processor vendors out there, and there are other processor architectures out there. So one of the prominent ones that's come up recently, I mean, it's been around forever, but it's really gaining traction recently, is called the ARM processor. So you've probably heard of ARM processors being used in Android devices, Android phones, Android tablets. The ARM processor, I think it was created by Texas Instruments, they licensed it out, basically has been used for the past decade in all of these little smartphones, tablets, smart devices. The reason is because the ARM processor was less powerful than the x86 processors, but was better at energy consumption, and it was better at being fit into these little devices. Well, the issue is again, the operating system and the software has to be written for the processor that you're dealing with. So the x86 processors have Windows built for it and software built for it. Well, now Windows 8 RT, the RT means that this will be on the ARM processors. What that means is that the Windows 8 RT is a different operating system than the Windows 8 that will go on the x86 tablets when they come out shortly. The problem then is the software. So the software that is written for Windows 8 RT is not going to work on the x86 processors, and the bigger point is the software written for the x86 processors will not work on the ARM processors. So I want you guys to think about this for a second. So basically, the operating system has to be written for the processor, and then the software is written for the operating system it goes on. Windows 8 RT is literally a different operating system than the Windows 8 that will go on to the Intel, the Atom processors. And so the software will not work. So the software that is written for the old x86 things will not work on the ARM processors. So let's go over here and just think about what that means for a second. So the big thing that Microsoft has going for it is interoperability. And the big thing with Windows 8 is the idea that you can have software that will run on your desktop, your laptop, or your tablet computer, right? That's the big thing about Windows 8. And I'm excited about that with Windows 8. But then wait a minute. But if that's the entire point, that's the big thing with Windows 8. But then they're coming out with these Windows 8 Surface RTs that it's not interoperable. The version of Office that comes on, the RT versions of Windows 8, isn't the same Office that you get on a normal computer. So if you have all this software that you were planning to migrate from your old computer to this fancy new tablet, that's not going to work. If you have cool little shareware that you want to run on your little tablet, your Windows tablet, well, it's not going to work. So the big thing that I like with Windows 8 and these tablets is I can take all this little crappy software that I use, that I've been using for years and years and years and years, and I can simply migrate it to the new system. But if I get Windows 8 RT, well, wait a minute, I can't do that. So what the hell's the point of that? So the entire point of Windows 8 is interoperability, being able to migrate data and software and all that from one thing to another, but then RT, well, you can't do that with. And this is going to be the big thing, especially when you're dealing with your clients, your bosses, your employees, so on and so forth, is they are not going to realize that. They're going to go out and they're going to buy this $500 Windows 8 Surface RT, and then they think it's going to be the same as the Windows 8 Surface computers that are coming out, and it's not. And they're going to be very, very, very disappointed about that. And they're going to become even more disappointed because remember, with programmers, creating software is like anything else. It is resource intensive. So programmers want to create software with as little resources as possible. So I think Windows 8 RT, again, is going to become a dead end because everybody wants to use the product that has the most software and apps. The app developers want to create the product for where most people are buying for, and so I think RT is just going to go nowhere. So the important thing to understand about this, so I'm taping this right now, October 21st, 2012, is that these new Windows Surface 8 RT tablets are coming out very, very shortly. Strangely enough, I think Microsoft is really trying to screw people because the Atom Surface tablets will not be coming out for like another month or so. So there's a lot of people that are going to think these Windows 8 Surface tablets are the newest and greatest wonderful thing. They're going to go out and buy them. Then they're going to find out they don't do exactly what they want to do. And then a month from now, then Microsoft will come out with the Windows Surface tablets with the x86 processor in them that will do what everybody wants. And then there's just going to be a lot of crying. It's going to be a lot of nasty just crying. It really will. So that is why I say do not buy the Windows 8 Surface RT. The whole processor issue, I know it seems like a really small thing, but it is going to be huge. If you have a Windows 8 computer that is using an ARM processor, it is off in its own little world. You might as well have bought an iPad or an Android device as far as compatibility goes with the rest of the Windows 8 environment. The big thing with the Windows 8 environment is this interoperability. Well, Windows 8 RT is just off in wherever it's at. The big complaint with the Atom-based processors, or the Atom-based Windows 8 tablets that are coming out, is that they will be more expensive. They probably will be $100 more expensive. So it's $499 for a Windows 8 RT Surface. It'll probably be $599 for the Atom version. But think about it. Yes, it's $100 more for that Atom computer, but that's $100 more, and it's far more usable versus you save $100 and then you get something that you can't really use the way you want it to use. That's no good, at least in my book. The one thing, just so you guys know, what I am waiting for the Windows 8 Surface computers, again, I have liked my iPad 2. I've had my iPad 2 for about 2 years now. I think the iPad 2 is really, really great. And again, depending on what form factor Windows 8 Surface is in, I like it sometimes and don't like it others. I don't like it in the desktop, don't like it in the laptop, but in the high-powered tablets like Samsung has, I do like them a lot. One of the things, just to show you, is the computer that I will probably be buying once it comes out is this Samsung computer right here. And this is where I think tablets are really going to take off and be absolutely amazing. And I think Microsoft will win the tablet game. But this is one of Samsung's Windows 8 computers that are coming out. And again, I played with the Windows 8 Samsung tablet and it was absolutely phenomenal. It really was. But it has an i5 processor in it. It has 4 gigs of RAM. It has a 128 gig solid state hard drive, 11.6 inch screen. Now I know you're going to think, well, that's expensive at like $1,200. But again, what I want you to think about for yourself and you to think about for your clients is, remember, these are devices that allow you to do work. Work is what gets you paid at the end of the day. The reason why I like that Samsung is because with an i5 processor, 4 gigs of RAM, and 128 gig hard drive, it means I can do things like video production on the road. You know how they've been talking about for a long time that you could use your little Android tablet or your iPad to do video editing? I mean, it's cute, it's nice, but I don't really think so. They don't have enough storage in them, they don't have enough processing power. Not only that, but I can't get the video editing software I like on them. With a Samsung tablet like that one, that means from the road, like I could literally go to CES, shoot a bunch of footage, grab a Starbucks coffee, sit there, edit the footage, hit upload, and then while I'm walking around the conference, that edited video can be uploaded to YouTube while I find new things to shoot footage on, so on and so forth. So basically, it's all the utility of the iPad, or all the comfort and utility of the iPad, all the power of a Windows computer. And again, that's what I think would be cool. Again, with this, it's $1,200-$1,300, but these systems are supposed to be making you money. So if the system makes you more money, then it pays for itself. The main thing that I'm waiting for with the Samsung devices is I do want to have a cell plan, a mobile plan. So with my iPad 2, when I got it with the built-in mobile, so it connects to Verizon. That is the one thing that I found is an absolute necessity, especially for these tablet computers. So when I get off of a train and I'm in New York and I don't know where I'm at, I can just flip open a map and take a look at where I'm at. I can get email wherever I'm at. All of those things are very, very important to me. So that's what I am going to be waiting for the Windows 8 Surface. It's probably a Samsung, probably something just like what we saw, only with a Verizon plan included. And with that, you really do. You have almost an absolutely perfect computer. So that's what I'm thinking about. But again, like I say, the Windows 8 Surface RTs, stay the hell away from them. If you are going to buy it, or if your client is going to buy it, make sure you know what you're buying. Because the main problem I have with the Windows 8 RT is if people know what they're buying, fine, buy whatever the hell you want. My main argument here is I don't think most people understand what they're buying. I think most people are going to see this as an inexpensive Windows computer, and they're going to be horrified to find out that they can't install all this little software that they wanted to install when their buddies, get to play with all this stuff. They're not going to get to play with it. And not only that, but I've heard with the RTs, even apps have to be specially ported over to the RT platform. So I'm guessing even the apps, there won't be as many apps for the RT systems, and then people are going to be very sad. It's just going to be a horrible, horrible day. So stay away from the Windows 8 RT. I'm not saying to stay away from the Windows 8 Surface. I'm saying to stay away from the Windows 8 RT. So I am Eli the Computer Guy. This was episode 307, Windows 8 Surface RT buying advice, ... Don't do it. Seriously. Seriously. Just wait a month or two. and then buy the better version. Just don't do it now. Do not buy a Windows 8 computer with ARM. That's Eli's advice.